Around 2007, early scene icons were starting to vanish into the ether while new scene queens and kings took up the mantle, like Melissa Green and Ollie Sykes. Since we're talking about Ollie Sykes, Bring Me the Horizon brought a whole new wave of kids into the scene. Plus, new subgenres like crabcore, crunkcore, and acoustic pop. Think Never Shout Never and his many clones. Made the scene feel like a fresh explosion of youthful creativity by kids who didn't know what the rules were and didn't care. The look got even more colorful during this period with striped and neon hair extensions, candy bracelets, and neon cartoon monster merch. This was scene culture at its most vibrant and diverse. The scene was starting to get noticed by, if not mainstream news outlets, that next level down like MTV and alternative magazines like Revolver and Alternative Press. Chris Drew and neon pop punk bands were on MTV reality shows like Silent Library. Warped Tour, which previously was a mix of mostly pop punk artists with a few post-hardcore acts, went all in on post-hardcore, metalcore, and deathcore lineups, screamo for the non-nerds. There was even crossover between Myspace and soon-to-be mainstream artists. Artists that eventually got popular in the 2010s, like Taylor Swift and Lil B, had their own Myspace pages. However, there was soon to be trouble in scene paradise. Sadly, MySpace was losing popularity to Facebook. First slowly, then all at once, and the center of scene culture shifted too. Although me, my friends, and most of the bands we were listening to made the jump to Facebook, it never quite felt like home. The loss of the ability to customize profiles and the sterile UI made everything feel less grand and dramatic. Scene artists found their way into video games like Guitar Hero, and people started making compilation videos on YouTube and videos of people going to shows. Scene queens, having amassed large followings on MySpace, were experimenting with how to capitalize on their internet fame with early monetization efforts, albeit with only a few success stories like Hannah Beth, Audrey Kitching, and the Millionaires. I give them a lot of credit for their monetization attempts because this was before AdSense and Patreon were a thing and they had to figure it out all on their own. And all the while the aesthetic was evolving. I started noticing the edgy names like Michael Massacre and Casey Calamity slowly disappearing around 2008 or so, although there were high-profile scenesters who kept it going. Here's this scientific chart to explain the evolution of the look. As you can see, the amount of color started out pretty high when I entered the scene, although there was a brief period in the beginning where the look was mostly black with 1 or 2 splashes of color, and only increased with time. When I entered the scene, it was common for scene guys and girls to have a black or bleach blonde base color for their hair, with neon extensions and highlights, and possibly stripes. During this period, the clothing also got more colorful. Remember when I was talking about neon cartoon monster merch? This is when it got popular. Even the tight jeans started getting colorful. People weren't quite at the stage where they made their base hair color some bright neon. That would start in the 2010s. Today, in the 2020s, the look is almost entirely neon and bright colors. Remember, I'm not judging, just observing.